What is going on, beautiful people? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today we are going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Golden, Colorado. But hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you're interested maybe learning a little bit more about Denver or maybe some of the surrounding suburbs such as Golden, like we're going to talk about today, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell icon for notifications. This way you can be the first to be notified when I come out with another video that might be relevant to what you're looking to learn about. If you don't already know, my name is Michael and I get people reaching out all the time, making a move to Denver and just looking for a little bit of help, some guidance, just to kind of help them get here. So if that's you, maybe you're looking to move out here, maybe you might be in 5 months, 6 months, whatever it may be, looking to rent, buy, whatever it ends up being, I'm more than happy to help in whatever way I can, just assist make that move as smooth as possible. So my contact information is below, so don't hesitate to reach out, call, text, email, whatever's best for you. But with all that being said, let's just get right into the video. So if you're not familiar with Golden, Colorado, it's a tiny little town that's right between Lakewood and the mountains. Just kind of as you get into the mountains, it's kind of like just the gate getting into the mountains. So it's a tiny little town and lovely little place. It has this population of about 20,000 people, so not a whole lot. It's a very small town. One of the things they're really well known for is just the Colorado School of Mines. You may have heard of it, great engineering program. Another cool fact is that is actually the home of the Jolly Rancher. So yeah, let's just get right into the pros. All right, the first one and probably one of the most obvious things is because you can't miss it as you're driving in, but it's just beautiful. You're right on the mountainside, so you just have these amazing scenic views of the mountains. When people live in Colorado, they usually want some sort of mountain view, and you just live pretty much on the side of the mountain view. So pretty much wherever you're at, wherever you're living, you probably have a nice view. And if not, when you're driving through town, you're pretty much in a mountain town. It's just great to drive through. It's very peaceful, calming, and just a really nice place aesthetically. Another great thing about Golden is just the access to the outdoor activities. So if you're someone that's planning on being very outdoorsy, doing a lot of hiking, skiing, fishing, whatever, it's a great place for you just because you're right there next to the mountains. You don't have to go very far and you don't have to pretty much drive through anywhere throughout Denver to get there. You're kind of right there. You're also just south of North Table Mountain, which is an amazing little open space. Highly recommend going there. Even if you're living anywhere else in Denver, it's a great place to go hiking. I'd say make sure and bring water, especially during the summer when it gets hot. The first half mile or so of the main trail going up is pretty steep and you're gonna think it's like ridiculous. Once you get to the top though, it gets pretty much flat and it's nice 2-3 miles all the way around the top, but just beautiful scenery up top. If you go all the way to the edge on the east side of the top of the mountain, you can have a nice scenic overlook of Denver and you just see the skyline. It's really amazing. Highly recommend. It's probably one of my most recommended hikes if you're coming to Denver. Again, make sure and bring a lot of water. There's also a really cool waterfall that you can go see too up there. Again, highly recommended. Go take a look, but just one of the many things that Golden has to offer. Another really nice thing about Golden, it has more of a rural feel than a lot of the other spots in Denver just because it's still, I wouldn't say it's necessarily rural, maybe more suburban, but compared to pretty much everywhere in Denver, you get out there and you're just like, man, this is cool. It's just very low key, very peaceful. So it's just a nice feeling just getting to Golden, and a lot of people enjoy that. I guess maybe if you're looking for the hustle and bustle of Denver, maybe that's not what you're looking for. You wouldn't consider that a pro. I'd say most people probably do, especially when you're trying to get a little bit away from all the busyness of life and just kind of relax a little bit. Another great thing about Golden is it's a very bike-friendly community. So you're gonna see a lot of bike lanes, a lot of people out riding their bike, and it gives it kind of a sense of community throughout, and it's just nicer on the area. Makes you feel good. You get into biking. It's good exercise. So it's just nice that the whole kind of town has just that together, and they just kind of get into it. One other thing that people really like about Golden is because it's so close to the mountains that if you're really into snowboarding, really into skiing, and you're somebody that's gonna get the Icon Pass or the Epic Pass, and you're gonna go every weekend, maybe even throughout the week when you have a day off, it's a great place just because you have great access to the mountains and you can skip all that traffic during the day. and just kind of, you know, wake up, get going, go snowboard, come back for the rest of the night. So if you're someone that's looking to go 4 or 5 times a week, maybe, I don't know, to me that seems a little overkill, but I know people that do it. So maybe if that's something that you're interested in doing, or you think that might be something that you want to do, not a bad spot for it, and it's just something that Golden can offer that a lot of the other places in Denver can't. And the last thing I'll mention is Golden has a couple cool things that are close by. First one being Red Rocks. So if you're looking to go to a lot of concerts, you know, right there, or maybe you just want to go. I know a lot of people will get up, they'll, you know, get to the Red Rocks early, they'll run up and down the stairs for exercise. I don't know, seems to me like maybe that might not be a lot of people that want to do that, but you know, Red Rocks is there. So if you're into concerts or some of that maybe early morning yoga or whatever they do there, might be something for you. The other cool thing that's there is the home of the Coors Brewery. So you're gonna smell all that while you're driving by. Some people like it, some people don't. I guess it's personal preference. But you know, you drive by, they do tours throughout there. So I guess wherever you're living, you can go do it. But you know, you live right there, might be something fun to do. Take, you know, your relatives, they come into town, go take them. I know they give some samples out. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to give samples out on the tours. So just really cool. You can go through, take a tour, and they'll kind of show you how everything's done. Just a really cool thing that is in Golden. All right, now let's move into the cons. The first one, and probably the most taxing on people, is just the cost of living there. The median single family home over there is about $885,000. So just shy of $1 million. You know, they're almost there, maybe 2-3 years, who knows. But it's really expensive to live there. And it's because it's, you know, right in the mountains. You know, you pay a premium for those kind of views. So when you're living right there, you know, it is what it is. So that's probably one of the biggest drawbacks to Golden, is just it costs a lot of money. So whether you're renting or buying, it's gonna be expensive. The second thing is that because it's a smaller town, you're not gonna have as many shopping options. You know, you're not too far from, you know, Lakewood or in some of the other areas around there. So if you need to go into town to get something, you know, you can probably get some of the essentials in town, but if you really need to, you know, go out, you have a lot of things you need to get, you might not be able to find it in Golden. Same with restaurants. You know, with a town of 20,000 people, you're probably not gonna have a whole lot of restaurants just because it doesn't make sense. So if you're looking for something quick, you know, something easy, you're gonna find it, it's gonna be there. But if you're looking for something a little bit higher end, or maybe something a little fancier, you might have to travel a little bit. Another thing to consider is there's not as many job opportunities in Golden, just because it's, you know, a smaller area. There's not as many businesses that are there, so you're not going to have as many opportunities as you would maybe like Denver or Lakewood. You know, those places aren't very far, and if you're working virtually, it doesn't really matter. So I know a lot of people are doing that nowadays. So, you know, if that's the case, doesn't even matter. You can completely negate that one. But if you're moving there thinking, oh, I'm going to find a job in town, you might have a bit harder time to do that than you might think. All right, and the last thing I'm going to talk about is just some of the challenges that go with living right next to the mountain. So you're living right next to a mountain. It's not going to be as flat, so snow's not going to melt as easy. It's going to be a little bit worse on that kind of stuff. The trucks that are coming to remove the ice in the winter might not be able to get out to you guys as fast, just because you're a little bit off the beaten path, so it's a little bit harder to clear that stuff. The other thing is, you know, you're right next to the mountain, so probably have a higher chance of a wildfire coming and hitting you guys rather than some of the insides of Denver, and that's just the thing. You're gonna see those, you know, wildfire. You're gonna see the Smokey the Bear signs with the wildfire risk is this today. It's always gonna say high. Even in the winter when it's snowing, it still says high. Very rarely does it say anything other than high. But I'd say Golden, because you're right on the side with all the trees and stuff, it's probably a little bit higher than pretty much everywhere else. So just something to consider. I'm sure, you know, that's what insurance is for, but you know, maybe if it's something that scares you or something you're not comfortable with, it's just something to consider. So obviously Golden isn't perfect, and it's obviously very expensive, but if it's something that, you know, you can afford and you really like it, there's a lot of perks to living in Golden. It's a beautiful place, and a lot of people would love to be right there next to the mountains just to have access to all that stuff. So yeah, I hope you found this video a little bit helpful, maybe a little insightful. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. I don't know. If you did, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget, if you're planning on moving out here in the next year or so, or 5 years, whatever it may be, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm more than happy to help you in whatever way I can. My information is below, so text, call, email, whatever's easiest for you. But until then, I will see you guys next time.